Hello children, good morning. Welcome to the class of English. Today I'll narrate a story. The title of the story is Fair Play. It's written by Prem Chand and this story is retold. Now this is a story about two close friends, Juman Sheikh and Algu Chaudhary. And it explains how justice is beyond friendship and enmity. Now, there are two opposite words here, friendship and enmity. When does friendship turn into enmity? When something goes wrong. Now, let us see in this story what goes wrong and how justice will prove that friendship is far beyond enmity. The story is actually divided into three parts. Today we'll deal with part 1 and part 2. Part 3 will be continued in the next session. Now you can even play a role and act and do a role play on this story and send it to me on my WhatsApp. It would be really interesting to see the characters playing the role of Juman Sheikh and Algu Chaudhary. Okay, let's proceed. The story of Juman and his friend. Juman was a young man who had an old aunt. She came to Juman and told that she is helpless. I am just narrating the story, so I will not read according to the lines given here. So she asked him to stay in his home, and with that she told that she would transfer her property for the kind act that Juman and his wife would do for the old aunt. Juman agreed and he allowed aunt to stay with him, and he took good care of his aunt. You like to take care of people who live with you, but those who are in blood relation with you, those who are your brothers and sisters. But what about those who are not your brothers and sisters, who are your relatives? You like to take care of them for few days, but then after few years you get fed up. Same thing happened with Juman and his wife. After years, Juman and his family became tired of the aunt. The quarrel started happening between his aunt and wife. His wife was annoyed with her and was not even giving enough food to the aunt. Now see, she wanted the property, she wanted the money that aunt provided, but in turn she did not want to take care of her. How mean. Now, if some injustice is done to someone, they may bear it for some time, but then they will also lose their temper, they will also lose patience. Same thing happened to aunt. She patiently waited for many months, but there was no change. So she decided to talk to Juman about the matter. She asked Juman that if he could give some food to eat, then she should give some monthly allowance so that she can have her own kitchen and make her own food. So Juman would give some money to aunt so that she would prepare her own food, and she doesn't need to rely on Juman and his wife for her food. Now for this Juman became angry and said that he could not give any allowance to her. So the aunt discussed the issue with nearby villagers. Some of them laughed, some gave condolences, but no one bothered to help her. Now, people always like to listen, but they would never stand by us for our unhappiness. In our good times, everyone is with us, but during our bad times, only our true friends stay. So now the aunt decided to take the matter to the punch. What is a punch? Punch is the short form of panchayat. What is a punch? A punch is a group of 5 people who listen to the issues and give the decision. Now Gram Panchayat, you might have learned about Gram Panchayat. Gram means village and Panchayat. So the people, they are the heads and people abide to their decision and they listen to them. So their decision is the final decision. So now what happened? Aunt had full trust on Algu. So for seeking help, she went to Algu and told the issue. Now Algu said, I understand the problem, but Jumman is my friend and I cannot go against him. So aunt asked her to listen to his conscience and went back. She had full faith and trust in Algu and she knew that he was a good person and he would listen to her and do proper justice. So she approached him. Now see what happens in the panchayat. This is part 2. A panchayat was brought under the banyan tree. Villagers asked aunt to nominate a panch. Now whose name did she nominate? She nominated Algu. Now Jumman was happy because Algu was his friend and so he knew that he would never talk in against of him and he would be benefited. So he agreed. Now who was the head punch? Algu, and he got the responsibility of justice. Now this is a great job. Now see, if you are made the monitor of the class and if you are told to be just enough, you won't support your friend. What you will do? You will do your duty and that also very nicely. So now it was Algu's turn. So he was given the decision in favor of aunt. Why he gave the decision in favor of aunt? Because aunt was correct. It was not Jumman who was correct. It was aunt. So he said that aunt should be given her property back. Now this was the decision not in favor of Jumman. It was against Jumman. So now what happened? Enmity. Between whom? Jumman and Algu. So since that day Jumman became an enemy of Algu. So now they are both enemies. So what do you think? What would be the result of the story? What would happen later on? So wait for the next story. I would rather like you to read the story well, and today's your task is not to write anything but to go through the story and if possible perform a role play and send it to me so that the group members also enjoy the role play. Okay, I hope you have understood the beginning part of the story. The rest of the story will continue in the next session. Have a nice day. Thank you.